The Star of Bethlehem, A Skeptical View. So, I actually had first heard of this book when I was just watching a call-in show. Sometimes I watch atheist call-in shows on YouTube to help me sharpen my own apologetics, There are certain things and arguments that maybe appealed to me when I was a young man for trying to convince people or defend my religion. And, you see how bad some of those were. And in this particular episode, I think it was The Line was the YouTube channel, one of the people mentioned they were a published author, and they wrote this book about the Star of Bethlehem. Now, every year I try to catch a show at the planetarium that mentions the Star of Bethlehem. There have been many, many, many attempts to try to explain if it might have been a natural phenomenon, or was it a true miracle, or did it even happen? And this book does actually take a look at the historicity of the book of Matthew. How accurate could it have been? Why there are at least two significant departures from the other Gospels, especially contrasting that to Luke, who is mostly just the chronicler of events. So this is actually pretty interesting stuff here, and save for just one or two pages and a reference here or there, Dr. Aaron Adair does not come across, he's a doctorate in physics, doesn't come across as a snide atheist know-it-all prick, which those of us who are Christian probably know who I'm talking about. And even if you're, and hey, I'm sure that once or twice in my walk, I've come across that way to people who are atheists. It sort of is the name of the game. What he gets into here that I think is interesting is he dabbles in sociology. And one of his main things in doing so is to try to figure out why all of a sudden are we trying to ascribe a reason, a natural reason, for the Star of Bethlehem. Johannes Kepler did not. He very famously said, no, it was just a miracle entity or something from God. And, now, Kepler, a firm believer in God, also could read Greek, and he could see that there was a lot of stuff there that mentions that this isn't a star in the heavens. This is a light that manifests for these magi, and it, dematerializes for them, then materializes them, and then clearly it's over a house where Jesus is, the baby Jesus is, at one point. So I find that very fascinating. Other than that, like I said, if you're a Christian, you could read this book. I certainly did and found it interesting. If you're an atheist, you've probably already made up your mind about the Gospels, and nothing Dr. Adair offers you is going to change that in any way, shape, or form.